Beach, and it was uploaded by Juan C Entertainment. Now this was sent to us by Mina Boothang, who said the thumbnail still remains unknown to this day. I don't know what that means, but let's press play.
A few years ago, it was in January.
Dang.
It was so cold that our town was all frozen, and the streets were very quiet back then. I was living on the second floor of the apartment building at that.
Them streets loud now.
What?
I'm a top tier comedian.
And the streets were very quiet back then.
Streets loud now. Get y'all one more.
I was living on the second floor of the apartment building at that time, and I could see a small park and a bench in the direction of my balcony.
All right.
One night, it was around 9 p.m. My cell battery had just died, so I went near the balcony to pick up my charger, and I saw a child sitting on a bench about 30 meters away. It was snowing heavily outside at the time, so I thought it was a little weird for a child to sit on a bench alone in the middle of the night.
Right.
Especially on this cold day.
Yeah.
However, I soon decided not to care about him, thinking that he's just waiting for his parents. Then I surfed the website for a while, and it was about 12 a.m. I went back to the balcony to lock the window, and that kid, he was still sitting on the bench. Looking at the back of his head, I began to worry that something might be wrong with him. So after thinking about it for a long time, I posted a post on the website I often go. Guys, there's a child out there in this time. Should I call the police?
Time out. Why aren't you just going out there and, hey, you all right? Just want to make sure everything's all right. You've been sitting on this bench and it's like 0 degrees outside. This sucker went to Twitter?
I then looked back at the bench. Maybe I can talk to him for a second. Thinking like this, I opened the window and shouted at the child. Hey! Hey, kid! He seemed not to hear my voice. He was just sitting there, not even looking at me. I shouted to him a few more times, then gave up. Went back to the living room, checking the comments, and there was one comment caught in my eyes. Hey, listen, that is not a human.
Whoa.
Just shut the door and go to sleep. Do not talk to him. I got goosebumps. I slowly went out to the balcony again, and to my surprise, the child was gone.
He talked to it. He
Was
invited
he
it
a
in.
real ghost, or just gone somewhere? Thinking like this, I tried to shut the window that I had left open earlier, and looked down at the window inadvertently. And there was a child. He was standing in front of the first floor, still turning back. Holding my breath, I got so surprised that I quickly closed the window and locked it completely to the inner door. However, I ended up staying up all night that day. Eventually, nothing happened that day.
Good.
But I still think it's the weirdest experience of my life. What if I didn't see his comment
Really?
at that moment? Wouldn't that ghost have come into my house through the window? Of course, that kid may be a real person, but I still can't forget the back of his head.
I just think it'd be hilarious if that was like an actual kid and he was just sitting on a bench.